Are you a fan of horror movies? Get ready to be shocked. We're taking a look at some of the most controversial horror movies out there and uncovering their dark secrets. From unexpected film ratings to unexpected real-life consequences, this list is sure to give you some chills. Hello, and welcome to Amu's Top 10. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive more amazing content. Number 4. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Christmas isn't usually associated with carnage and mayhem, nor is Santa Claus with a serial killer. But that didn't stop the makers of the 1984 film Silent Night, Deadly Night from taking a risk with this story about a deranged and tormented teenager who goes on a murderous rampage dressed as Santa Claus during the holidays after being abused by a mother superior at the orphanage where he was raised. Surprisingly, during its first week in theaters, this film outgrossed the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. The joy, however, was short-lived as there was so much parental outrage over a murderous Santa Claus that the film's distributor, TriStar Pictures, was forced to pull the film from theaters just a week after it premiered. Number 3. The Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project. Even though this movie came out almost 20 years ago, the arguments about it still seem to be fresh. The Blair Witch Project was controversial not because of the violence or the subject matter, but because of how it was marketed. Many people thought that the Blair Witch Project was based on a true story and that the found video footage was real. People also thought that the movie's stars had died in real life. Even the movie website IMDb said at first that the actors in the movie were deceased, which was not true. At the time the movie came out, Artisan, a now-defunct movie studio that bought the rights to it, was happy to spread this myth. There were so many rumors that the main characters in the movie had really died that some of the actors' parents got sympathy cards from their friends and family. Of course, it turned out that none of it was true. It was all a brilliant marketing gimmick, which caused a big fuss at the time. Number 2. Rosemary's Baby. There's something special about children and horror films. Involve angelic little kids in a horror film, or worse, make them demons or possessed people if you want to stir up a ruckus. This was one of the main reasons why the 1968 film Rosemary's Baby was so polarizing. Rosemary's Baby follows a newlywed woman, played by actress Mia Farrow, who becomes pregnant with Satan's child. It also contains a creepy final shot of the baby. The combination of both the subject matter and the infamous closing image made this film extremely controversial at the time. Although it was hailed as a masterpiece by critics and is now considered a horror classic, Rosemary's Baby was met with opposition from church groups and religious leaders. The protests were so intense that some theaters refused to show the film. However, time appears to have softened the controversy, as the Library of Congress designated this film as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry in 2014. Number 1. The Exorcist. No other horror movie has been as controversial as The Exorcist, which came out in 1973. There were rumors that the set was haunted and that Linda Blair actually died while the movie was being made. This movie was so controversial that Warner Bros. Had to hire bodyguards for Blair to keep her safe. When there was a scene with a crucifix, church groups and religious fanatics ran to get their protest signs. When it first came out, this movie was called blasphemous, immoral, and anti-Christian, which helped The Exorcist do well at the box office. When the movie came out in 1973, no one had ever seen a young child be possessed or, for that matter, play the bad guy. So seeing Linda Blair, who was 12 at the time, literally possessed by Satan, was a lot for moviegoers to handle at the time. Plus, most people couldn't handle the gross makeup and special effects that made Linda Blair's head spin around while she threw up. In America, many small towns refused to show the movie. But it started a whole genre of horror movies with children in them, like The Omen, The Shining, Poltergeist, Village of the Damned, and Children of the Corn. Many people today think of The Exorcist as a classic because of its controversial parts. From classic slashers to modern-day horror films, there have been some truly shocking horror movie controversies. While some of these controversies are still being discussed, others have been put to rest. No matter how controversial the movies are, one thing is for sure: horror movies will continue to shock and awe us all. Which film controversy surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. Also, if you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.